It's so crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now.
Candace Parker just stated what every Caitlin throughout the season. Clark fans have been yelling, and the old guard in the WNBA didn't want to hear it at all. Additionally, the league must pay attention, particularly the commissioner, because despite our hopes that a new season would bring a different perspective on Caitlin and her admirers, things have only gotten worse. The animosity is deeper, the jealousy is louder, and the double standards are more obvious than before. However, WNBA legend Candace just intervened and made them all look stupid. It's a basic fact of common sense. Comments that break through the clutter and provide context for the entire issue. Perhaps now they will finally pause and reflect. Because this is what this season has taught us. The league becomes louder and more self-destructive as Caitlin wins more. Let's examine what Candace stated, since it may be the most subtle yet powerful retaliation against the WNBA's establishment and those who despise Caitlin Clark. First, though, like this video. For the haters, each like is equivalent to one tissue. After what Candace stated, they will require it. Remember to subscribe for more updates on Fever and Caitlin Clark. Alright, so why is Candace speaking up at this time, and why is it important? This is the primary cause, then.
Out of women's basketball for a horrible team when she arrived. Outside of LeBron and Steph, she is the most well-known basketball player currently playing in the United States.
Yes. And I don't think that's close.
When she joined a terrible team outside of LeBron and Steph, she was out of women's basketball. She is the most well-known basketball player in the country right now. Yes, indeed. And that's not close, in my opinion. The WNBA is now growing at an exponential rate. And Caitlin Clark is the reason for it all. In sports, it's the worst-kept secret. Not only is Caitlin Clark the most well-liked player in WNBA history, she is probably the most well-liked athlete in the United States. Period. The numbers from the previous season are all known to us. A record-breaking increase in ticket sales, TV ratings, and merchandise sales. Every one indisputable reality was shown via quantitative metrics. Caitlin is the only one who can move the needle. She's already surpassing it this year. Record-breaking viewership and packed stadia. There is no slowdown in the Caitlin Clark effect. It's growing larger.
The second highest viewership, which is like average viewership. However, it was the highest peak of any game ever on CBS.
Viewers, which is comparable to the average number of viewers. But it was the highest point in any CBS game ever. This season, a record number of people are tuning in to see Caitlin Clark and the Fever. 1.3 million people watched a preseason exhibition match versus Brazil at the start. Give that some thought. The results of a preseason game were better than those of most regular season games. The season opener followed. It was the most watched WNBA regular season game in 25 years, with an average of 2.7 million viewers against the sky. And most recently, 3.3 million people watched her fight the Liberty. However, after she was hurt, things quickly changed.
And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
The cost of tickets for Fever games without Caitlin fell by 300%. The rest of the league trailed far behind. Even though Fever supporters have held their own in TV ratings, I'll talk about it in a few minutes. Everyone should take note of this. Players, coaches, the league itself, and the front office. It is anticipated that Caitlin Clark will bring in more than $1 billion for the WNBA this year alone. One thing is implied by that. The WNBA might lose all of its momentum with one severe injury to Caitlin Clark. I know you believe you have the upper hand, but without Caitlin, forget about those CBA dollars Angel Reed believes are coming, and the new agreement Nafisa Collier claims the players have leverage for about it. Nevertheless, the league continues to shoot itself in the foot. They tie themselves into knots, acting as though it's something else, rather than accepting the apparent truth about who's driving this growth. Instead of acknowledging the progress, they continue to steer the discussion away from basketball.
The loudest mics, like I stated, are the ones that's race baiting. Not even bringing up the names, but all the people that I'm seeing that are tied within the WNBA media, coaches, all type of things. They are very resentful of Caitlin Clark, and I don't know why. It doesn't make sense when you have somebody that's doing what she's doing for the WNBA.
Even though the season is just a few games old, Caitlin and her supporters have already experienced facepalm after facepalm. The chaos began after just one game. The league opened an investigation into alleged hate speech following the first game versus the Sky, but it turned up nothing. However, the harm had already been done. The headlines were stolen rather than commemorating an amazing start and a momentous occasion for the league. It has nothing to do with basketball. It had to do with controversy. And once more, Caitlin Clark and her supporters were drawn into a story that was unrelated to what truly transpired on the court.
You even though it's 100% false, by acknowledging we don't condone hate and not seeing that this was a internet rumor founded of complete bullshit, you're lending credence to this.
The story that Caitlin Clark's support following was nasty and that Indianapolis wasn't safe for athletes emerged from that catastrophe. In fact, there were calls to shift the All-Star game. Some were calling for Dave Portnoy to be prohibited from performing in arenas due to his heckling of Angel Reese. In the meantime, the league has said nothing at all about the genuine hatred that Caitlin and the Fever are facing. No declarations, no encouragement, nothing.
Way out of bounds.
The remarks made about the Fever players, particularly Caitlin, went much beyond the realm of basketball. They weren't merely critiques of her popularity or her game. They were intimidating and hostile.
Stuff that's being said to them, the stuff that's being said to Kelsey Mitchell, the kind of things that are being said to Natasha Howard are actually wild. People have taken a photo of these women and circled a bullseye on them and have said, "It's on site when I see you." Those are actual threats.
These weren't only offensive remarks. They posed real risks. The kind of targeted, personal insults you would expect the league to at least denounce, especially because it frequently highlights its position on inclusiveness and hatred. Instead, there were crickets, no defense, no support, and it only grew worse. Fans on X are now accusing Caitlin of exploiting the infant of her assistant coach as a prop.
Clark is getting some of the grossest, most morbid comments, racist, hateful. We're talking the cup runneth over with hate. Here, Kathy Engelbert, you're no space for hate. Where are you right now?
Yes, it is correct. Caitlin is being attacked for carrying a baby. We are dealing with that level of conversation. Conspiracy has replaced criticism, and the league has yet to respond. Thus, the animosity toward Caitlin and her followers has completely vanished. If anything, it has just gotten worse. There is still opposition to recognizing her influence despite all the statistics, sold-out games, and record-breaking viewership. Additionally, it begins at the top.
Kathy Engelbert, in this long, drawn-out article, goes on and gives herself credit for why the WNBA has finally entered some type of mainstream conversation.
Commissioner in a post she authored for the Harvard Business Review, Kathy Engelbert practically went out of her way to claim credit and give it to everyone but the person who is truly responsible for the league's success. You name it. Front office strategy, marketing teams, players, coaches, etc. She brought it up. Everyone got a pat on the back, but there was virtually zero emphasis on Caitlin Clark.
Followers and outside observers, our organization's success might seem overnight and even lucky, prepared by a singularly exceptional group of college players coming into the WNBA. However, we could not have capitalized on those advantages without years of hard work and preparation. Years of hard work and preparation. It might have seemed like it came overnight.
More than a McDonald's fountain soda, she significantly lessened Caitlin's influence. As these rookies joined the league, regular season games drew an average of 1.2 million spectators, increasing 170% from the previous season, according to Engelbert, who included Caitlin Clark along with Angel Reese and Cameron Brink. However, your dog, and you are all aware of it. On average, 1.2 million people watched Caitlin's games. However, There's a constant rush to give gold stars to anyone but Caitlyn, since the old guard can't abide that she's getting all the glory.
Literally, they just can't. They just can't not even wrap their head around. They can't just accept, okay, this person is more popular than me, or this person is more popular than the player that we want to push.
Being envious is one thing. It's human. However, what we're witnessing goes beyond that. There seems to be a need to knock Caitlyn down in order to feel better for some reason. And far too frequently, people immediately blame racism for the attention she is receiving, if it had nothing to do with the fact that she broke 62 WNBA records, made the first team All-Star, placed 4th in the MVP voting, and dragged in her first year, a bottom-dwelling team made it to the playoffs. It's crazy because, whether they like to acknowledge it or not, Caitlyn Clark's contributions are improving everyone's circumstances. It doesn't end there when she is in the spotlight. It shines on the league as a whole.
Play in these arenas where there are 15 to 20,000 people in the stands. They are in front of people that they haven't been in front of before. That is an opportunity for all of us fans to get to know all the players on the court, all of the players in the WNBA, to pick new favorite players, to pick other teams that we want to follow.
Legends who have really created this league and are aware of the risks have already spoken their opinions on it. One of the most revered voices in women's basketball and a Hall of Famer is Lisa Leslie. When she pointed out the jealousy around Caitlyn Clark, Mike essentially dumped the entire WNBA.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlyn Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect called the Caitlyn Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlyn Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television?
However, the pushback persists. Once more, the league needs some common sense. And it appears that only the ancient guard, the legends who truly recognize how unique this moment is, can provide that reality check. Candace Parker is the epitome of an old guard, a 2-time league MVP, 3-time WNBA champion, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. She is among the most accomplished, well-liked, and knowledgeable players the WNBA has ever seen. She also joined Stephen A. Smith on First Take this week, doing something that hardly anyone else in the league has the guts to do. Talk about the elephant in the room.
Ultimately, it comes down to the fact that there were an abundance of women in the WNBA doing tremendous work on behalf of the WNBA and the game of basketball, and you just sense that folks were feeling an absence of appreciation.
Now, give credit where credit is due to Stephen A. Smith, who hasn't hesitated to be honest. He is among the few well-known voices who are prepared to use the word jealousy. He has witnessed it. It has been witnessed by fans. It's evident to everyone watching the WNBA at the moment. Additionally, he gave Nifa Collier, who had voiced dissatisfaction with Caitlyn receiving more nationally broadcast games, a logic bomb on First Take.
Dude named Michael Jordan came along. And Michael Jordan came along and he wasn't yet winning championships, but his popularity was so astronomical that the NBA practically marketed everything they could around this guy. So to know that there's an example like that as a shining example to be followed that could benefit the league, particularly down the road, why is that an issue when we've seen that such a marketing plan has worked in the past?
Thus, this was not a casual interview. There would be pushback, avoiding, and fluff in this setting. Instead, the focus would be on the core of the problem.
Can you speak to that collective frustration that some may have been feeling, and whether or not you think it's something that's being overcome as you all thrive and move forward and continue to promote and uplift this league?
However, Candace gave us one of the most measured, considerate, and rational answers to date. The kind of response that had followers of Caitlyn Clark all throughout the world exclaim, exactly.
So crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now. My job was to leave the game better than I came into it. You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No, she's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving and sitting courtside cheering on Juju Watkins. And I'm doing the same for Caitlin Clark and all the women in the WNBA.
This was a Picasso of reasoning, a masterpiece in perspective, and there's more to come. Did you catch it though? Candace claimed that she is frequently questioned if she harbors resentment toward Caitlin Clark. That one sentence sums up the extent of jealousy in the WNBA. Consider that. One of the most accomplished athletes in league history is being questioned by the media, players, and insiders about whether she is envious of Caitlin Clark. It provides all the information you require. However, Candace provided the correct response, which ought to be the norm. It's not about being envious of who's next, she stated. It's about making the game ready for the next big thing. You don't have the ability to minimize Caitlin. You don't have to disregard the reality that she is incredibly talented or pretend as though her success is an exception. Rather, take pride in the fact that you created the platform and help her because, well, everyone benefits from it. Candace wasn't finished either. She made it plain even if she didn't state it exactly. She was criticizing all the noise, particularly the racial talking points that have been subtly and occasionally overtly undercutting Caitlin's ascent.
I tuned in when Kevin Durant went back and played Russell Westbrook, and they bumped shoulders and everybody was tuned in. But I want to keep it within the lines of the game. And I think that's what's the most important. Now everybody has a Twitter finger. Everybody can have reach to, the WNBA and make comments. But really the key is let's keep it about basketball. That's my thing. And when we do that, then we're able to really grow the game and what it represents.
You hear about the WNBA and the naysayers on Twitter. Keep the conversation focused on basketball because these racialized opinions aren't advancing the sport. Nothing is being built by them, that they are merely highlighting the WNBA in the worst way possible as a league that is internally disintegrating and unable to commemorate its greatest achievement without escalating it into a culture war.
To paint the narrative that it's a white and black thing going on, and now that toxic energy is spilling over to people who don't even watch the games. So now they feel like they are a part of the league just because they know or feel like they know what's going on with the race thing. Like, cut it out, man. You all want the league to grow, but you all saying keep it about basketball, but y'all not keeping it about basketball. I don't get it.
All Caitlin Clark has done is go out there, perform, and give the audience exactly what they were looking for. She has expanded the game in a manner that the WNBA has never witnessed before. Her actions have never had anything to do with race. There hasn't been any animosity or disdain shown at other players, fans, or the legends who came before her. She has actually shown nothing but respect, continuously praising the athletes who cleared the path, shouting out her colleagues, complimenting the opposition, and exhibiting true humility at every turn. No one is being destroyed by her. She is improving the sport as a whole. Listen to Lisa Leslie's remarks regarding her admiration for the game's legends.
I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do.
This isn't an external source. This comes from a founding member who contributed to the WNBA's development. Candace Parker is now emulating the attitude that all players ought to possess. Leave the game in a better state than when you entered. In order for athletes like Caitlin to continue carrying the torch as she did in the past. This is how it operates. Jordan led to Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, and now Luka and SGA, just as Bird and Magic led to Jordan. In order for the following generation to shine even more, each generation advances the game.
Now, because of visibility, listen, I still know the Dominique Wilkins. I still know, all of those players, the Dr. J's and all that stuff. I don't think they're not salty that MJ came along and grew the game. I mean, that's what it is.
Lastly, Candace discusses the necessity for the league to change its ways because this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It concerns the league's future.
NBA as a whole is in an amazing place. Now it's about business to me.
Candace is aware that it's all about business in the end. It's not just highlight clips that Caitlin Clark excels with. She is amazing at business.
Have a good product, and your biggest hurdle is getting people to sample the product. She's a godsend.
They were rudely awakened by Caitlin Clark's injury if they believed they had the upper hand heading into the following CBA without her. But do you recall what I said about the Fever supporters being competitive? In all of this, that is crucial.
Indiana
Look into
Fever's
this.
matchup on Friday versus the Sun drew 851,000 viewers, becoming the most viewed WNBA game on ION this season despite Caitlin Clark's absence.
Even without Caitlin Clark, the Fever continue to draw large crowds. The point is not that they are Caitlin Clark numbers, but IT depicts the initial stage of the Caitlin Clark effect. If the league is wise, it will eventually spread to the entire WNBA after first spreading to the Fever. However, you must give it some time. This kind of cultural change takes time to occur. Years pass. Additionally, when done correctly, it creates the groundwork for the next star, the one who will advance it even further. The WNBA is currently experiencing its most crucial period of expansion. Additionally, the league must quit blowing it. This entails honoring their star, the new fans, and perhaps most crucially, defending her in court. This entails making the officiating more stringent and, at the very least, equitable. Because you can't allow players to go at your golden goose without facing any repercussions. This environment, which is perilously near to self-destruction, has a better chance of stabilizing if more players like Candace Parker speak up. Will the league eventually learn? That is the key question at hand. Or will their Achilles recover? Their unwillingness to embrace Caitlin Clark and the millions of admirers she's attracted turn out to be the thing that permanently hinders them. Drop a goat in the comments if you're still here, because that's precisely what you are for lingering. I appreciate you watching, but I'll see you later.